What's up, guys? It's Missy. I'm back with another SimCity Build a video. I am actually going to be having a lot of upcoming videos on not only the SimCity game, but all kinds of just random stuff. I've had video requests for just all kinds of stuff, like how to make duct tape wallets, stories, stuff I've been through in my life, endometriosis, just all kinds of just random shit, okay? Now, for now, we're going to focus on SimCity. And today I had a plan. So I don't know why it's not like loading the photo. It should be. Okay, there we go. So we have started a Facebook group. Okay. Right now we are going to be ending war, I believe, in about 2 hours. So if you guys are trying to get in, now would be the time to try to get in. Right now we have the group set to apply to join. If you are wanting in, I need you to either message me on Facebook or say it in the comments on YouTube and let me know, what your city name is and let me know when you apply in so I can approve you. Okay. We have a Facebook group that we started because the Discord just wasn't working out. It was constantly booting people, and to be honest, I don't use that app anywhere near as much as I would use Facebook. Because I run a crime and community page for Washington State, I am more on Facebook than I am on Discord, and I have a lot of stuff going on. Actually, I'm pretty busy most of the time. But for now, we are directing everybody to go to our Facebook group that we made, which is up here on your screen. SimCity Build it, MissyAnneTTVYT. It's got the picture, the same one that's on my YouTube. Now, if you want to join in, just, join in and we'll approve you. You can post whatever, you want that's related to SimCity, whether it be city designs, questions. Honestly, a lot of you, if you're doing the Missy's building plan or production guide or whatever, I have people on there that are updating, their progress daily, which is great because it shows, exactly how it works and everything. And it'll show you like how effective it is. Now, to be 100% certain, I am actually going to do a walkthrough. I have pulled my tablet out at home. I'm getting it set up today, and I'm going to start doing a walkthrough for the Missy's Building Guide, the level guide. Now, obviously, this game takes a lot of, real time. So I'm not going to sit there and have, 2 years worth of camera footage. But I'm going to update you guys with the progress daily and show you guys what it is that's going on, with the city from like level 1 to 24. Okay. Once we get that done, we'll see where we go from there, if I proceed on or not. So for now, we're going to talk about the production plan and try to get you guys making some money. Okay. A lot of you are either restarting or you're struggling to kind of keep your head above water. Now, as many of you know, me and CPT spent about 2 weeks making a production guide. And I have a video, a detailed video up that explains what you should be making and why. Okay. When you go to our Facebook group, you're going to click the announcement section here and you will see 2 posts right off the bat. This is going to be the level guide post, which you can hit the see more button and then just copy that text, open up a Word, a blank Word document or an email and hit paste. Okay. If you try to send it through Messenger, it's not going to send the whole thing. It's too long. So paste it within an email or a Word document. That's all you got to do. That way you can print it and then, send it to yourself or whatever, and then print it out. Now, if you're looking for the production plan, I have a link to the production plan that I'm going to try to get up on Facebook today. But for now, what's up is the screenshots. which is going to make it a little bit difficult for you guys to print. So I'm trying to find the actual link for the Word document, and it keeps sending me to a OneDrive link, and it's not allowing people to open it. So I'm going to mess around with that a little bit later today and try to get it up for you guys. So if you guys are looking at the copy on your phone and you open it up, the first part is going to be an introduction, and I tried to you know, I didn't want to do this part on my phone because I know you guys are going to have a hard time seeing it, but I'm going to do the best I can to make it as large as I can on your screen. Okay, so I needed to, there we go, rotate. Okay, so when you guys are looking at the production guide, what you're going to see is, and keep in mind, I just want to try to make this as brief as possible. But when we wrote this guide, this is each shop is different, okay, based off the time discounts that you have and the items that you have unlocked. If you make an item and you buy the materials to make that item versus producing the materials to make that item, the money that you make is going to be different, right? So let's say that you make more money making flour, right, than you do beef. A lot of people will see the numbers and they think, okay, beef turns a higher profit than flour, but it doesn't, because you're making more than one flour, right, in the amount of time that it takes to make one beef. So what we did was we added 2 columns for you. And what we did was we said, okay, if you go out and you buy all the materials needed to make a donut, this is how much money you're going to make per minute by producing the donut. If you make all of the materials to make the donut, this is how much money you're going to be making per minute. Okay? Now, everybody has different items unlocked and is at a different point in the game where they're, let's say that you are a level 35 player, okay? And you have a 2-star shop. And then you have a 1-star shop on something else. This guide is written for a 3-star shop all the way across. Every shop is 3 stars. That's what it's written for. But there's a section in here on every single shop that you can go and look for the column in which would apply to you. So what I mean by that is this. If you're looking at this guide, it says for the farmer's market, so your barn, you're going to make flour, right? Day, it says right there, it says you're going to, a 16-hour day is 960 minutes. You're going to produce 40 flour in 960 minutes. This is for a 3-star shop. That means that you're producing flour every 24 minutes, right? Now, let's say that you don't have a 3-star shop. Let's say you have a 2-star shop. Well, flour is the second one on the list, right? So you're going to look down here and it's going to say amount of items per hour, okay? So you're going to find the second one, the second column, count down. So the top one is cream, the second one is flour. So based on what star shop that you have, you're going to pick the column in which you would look at. So let's say you had a 2-star shop. That is the 15% discount, right? And you can find this by looking at your game. All you have to do is look at the front of your shop, and you can do this on anybody's screen. Just a little tip for you guys. If you want to know what level shop someone has, you look at the front of their shop, you zoom in, and you will see a 1-star, 2-star, or 3-star, or no star. There's base level, 1, 2, and 3, okay? So you can see what level shop anybody has. All you got to do is zoom in on their store, and it's right at the front of their store. So let's say that you have a 2-star shop. You're going to be, that's the base price, 10% is the 1-star, and then 15% is the 2-star. Well, we know that flour is the second one on the list, so that means that it says 2.35. What does that mean? That means that you make 2.35 flour in 1 hour running it on that time discount, okay? Let's say that you wanted to know how many flour you make for a max level shop in 1 hour. You're making 2.5 flour every hour as a 3-star shop, right? Okay, so let's go with one that's cream. This will make it a little bit easier for you. So cream, you make 1 cream every 60 minutes as a 3-star building or shop. That means that you're going to make 1 cream per hour, right? So if you make 1 every 60 minutes, that's 1 per hour at a 3-star shop. And it says 1.0 right there, where it says -20. That's a 3-star shop, okay? Now, let's say that I wanted to know how many I could make on a token. And let's say that I wanted to run a gold token on cream. I would pick the level shop that I have because, yes, that matters. So over here, the next part of the graph, the right side, it says building times per shop level, right? This is how long it takes. So it's telling me right here that it takes 60 minutes to make 1 cream as a 3-star shop. It's telling me that it takes 63.75 to make 1 cream as a, star 2. And then it says 67.5 minutes to make 1 cream on a 2-star shop. So now that you understand what this is, okay, and how to read it. So just to recap, because like I said, we put a lot of time into this thing. And I see very few people using it. And when I ask them why, it's because they don't know how. They don't know how to read it. So a lot of people know how to read it and they do right. They do good right off the get-go. Some people just need a little bit more help understanding it, which don't feel bad because, when you're not the one that made it, it can be difficult. It really can. So that's what you're doing essentially. Now, if you wanted to know how many beef you can make in 1 hour on a 3-star shop, then you would just look here, count down. It's 1, 2, 3. It's third one down. So you find the third column, you look, you see how many you can make in 1 hour. Okay. Then you want to know how many minutes it takes, right? So it says building times per shop level. If you read that carefully, it says it right above the graph. We had to change it because the first one wasn't clear enough. The red one in the red letters is the amount of items you can make per hour of that item, okay? The one on the right is how many minutes it takes to make that item. So now that we're clear on that, I'm going to go to the next page. So as you can see, the top part of the graph doesn't have a label. That is because that is the bottom part of the first page, okay? Now, what you're looking at here is the token graph. So it's the same thing. So cream is the top line, as the same as it was before on the first page. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick the shop level that you have, right? So if you have a 3-star shop, all right, cool. You're going to go to, this is base. So the first 2 or the first 3, read them. See how it says production/hour base times 2. This is the base level shop. Times 2, times 4, times 12. Okay. And now we're on to the 1-star shop. Times 2, times 4, times 12. Then the second, and then the third, the 3-star shop. Now, I just said that we wanted to know how many cream you can make on a times 12 token with a 3-star shop. So what we do is we go to the 3-star shop discount, which is minus 20%, and we look at the times 12, which is the column all the way to the right. And it says that I can make 12 cream on 1 gold token, right? So now I know I have a 3-star shop. I run 1 12 times token, and I'm going to have 12 cream, right? So if you're a 3-star shop and you want to run flour, you're going to look at that. Let's say you're a 2-star shop and you want to run a ×4 token. You're going to just go and you're going to say, okay, 15% times 4 is 3.76. You can make 3 cream and then 76, a percent, I guess is what you would refer to that as the next one. So, you're going to look at the whole number and go, okay, look, this is how many are going to actually be finished. And then you're going to have a partial on the rest. So hopefully that better explains for you guys, like how to read the guide, because I feel like a lot of people they didn't understand. But it's really simple once you know. And what you can do when you print it out is you can just go through and look at your shops. And this is what I mean when I said that the prices are going to vary based off what you make. The way that we wrote the guide, we wrote 2 parts to this guide. This thing is 19 pages long, okay? This right here is for a 3-star shop. That's what all the math is done for. It's for the max time discount for the max amount of coins that can be made in a 24-hour period with a 16-hour day to an 8-hour sleep. And that's with a realistic gameplay in mind. If I was to tell people to run smoothies all day long, they would make more money than making donuts. However, that is not possible because you cannot buy that many melons on the global market. And if you're to produce that many melons, then you would make less money, right? So you have to look at what's plausible and what's not plausible. Nails, for example, they do turn a nice profit. And as long as you're on the game and you have if you have all 11 slots unlocked and you're a level 18 player, you're going to produce a nail every 4.5 minutes, which means you're going to have to check in on the game every 49.5 minutes. If you're unable to do that, then you're going to make the next item. So if you are a 3-star shop, you produce a nail in 4 minutes. Times 11, that's 44 minutes. Every 44 minutes, you need to refill your shop with nails. That is the most profitable item in that shop, right? So it's really just a matter of, what you have available to you, your storage space, your time discount, your shop slots unlocked, time spent on the game, materials, everything is it's all going to factor in. Now, a lot of people take this guide, they look at it, and keep in mind, if you're a level 18 player, the last 4 pages of this guide are for you. I believe it might even be the last 3. But right at the end of the guide, we wrote a separate guide for level 18 players because we know that level 18 players camp a lot. Now, let's say that you guys you're wanting to make money, but you're having difficulties running this because you have the contest of mares, you have epic projects, you have items that are needed versus items that you're selling. Now, this is a great example of planning, planning what it is that you're doing. So here's the thing with this game. When people ask you, what's the best items to make, right? Technically, that doesn't have any one answer. Now, if you come to me and you say, what is the best item to make the most money per shop, I can give you that answer. But as far as the items that you're going to be making all the time, that's going to vary based on what you're doing in the game. A lot of the items are not able to be found on the global market very easily. So there's going to be a point in time where you run your shops for different things. Now, what you need to do is people get into a routine and a habit, right? We're creatures of habit. We open our game. A lot of the reason why people like this game, they might not realize it now, but it's because they like the routine. They like the structure, the schedule, the stability. So they get up every day, they open their game, with their morning cup of coffee or whatever it is, and they fill their shops or they do it, before bed and all that stuff. And that's what they like about it. So they get into these habits of these are the items I make. This is the item I like to make in this shop. And it's not even that they don't even know if it's profitable or not. It's just what they like to do. It's just whatever they've got comfortable doing, that's what they do. Now they'll say, well, I normally don't have the materials to make this, this, or this. Well, that's because you have to make more than one change. You know, if you wanted to make flour during the day and you tell me, well, I never have enough textiles. Well, okay, so what do you do to change that? You're going to have to start making those instead of whatever it is that you're making. So, hold on. Okay, so then you hear people say, and this one always cracks me up, when you ask them, what are you making to make money? And then you start talking to other people and they jump in, they're like, well, for me, I make the most money doing this, this, and this. And it's like, wait a minute here. We're all playing the same game. What you mean for you? How are you making more money making this than that when we're both playing the same game? We both have the same shop time discount unlocked. No, it doesn't change for you. And that's where people don't have a big issue, okay? You might have a preference on what you like to make, and you might have a routine that you're in, and you might have a thought in your head for whatever reason that item produces a higher profit than the other. But until you sit down and break it down mathematically, there is no way for you to say that with certainty that item is actually more profitable. You have to break it down mathematically, whether you do that in your head or on paper or whatever, but you have to do it in order to make that kind of a statement. You might be comfortable making melons during the day, but that does not turn the highest profit. I don't care what player you are, what shop time discount you have. It is not more profitable to make melons during the day. Okay? Now, a lot of people, when you ask them, hold on a second. Okay, a lot of people, when you ask them and you're like, okay, cool, you know, like, what are you making to make money? And they give you, you know, their answer and you're like, okay, well, why are you making that? Well, they say, well, because it makes the most money. And you're like, well, no, it doesn't. And you tell them what makes the most money. And then they're just like, they're speechless. And it's like, okay, so again, why are you making that? And then it's like, oh, well, because I never have enough materials for this, this, or this. And it's like, okay, look, you have to run your shops 3 different ways, okay? You're going to have, and like I said, we're creatures of habit. You've got to break that habit. You cannot, and this isn't just with the items that you make. This is the way you play your game. You have to be successful. If you're waking up every day doing the same thing on your game and expecting a different result, that's insane, right? So you need to set goals for yourself and make different. If you keep repeating the same action, you're going to keep getting the same result, right? So if you're broke and you're making the same items every day and you're broke and you're not making a change, you're going to continue to be broke. You have to manage your spending and you have to juggle the way that you make your items. Now, how do you run your shops to make them the highest profitable items and play the contest of mayors, or make the most money playing the contest, doing epics, and having the items that you need? Well, first thing is you need a good amount of storage, and you guys know that. So you're going to have a couple different ways that you're going to run your shops. During the contest, you're going to run your shops. If you're a level 18 player, you have to prep your shops. And if you have not seen that video, you need to watch that video because that one is very, very important. Now, if you are a higher level player, you know, like, and you have gold tokens unlocked, right? So like level 24 and up, you guys are going to be able to run your shops differently than a lower level player during the contest of mayors. But there's going to be times in this game where you have to make items that are hard for you to find in order for you to have an easy time filling, you know, your flight requests, your VU repairs, your epic projects, things like that. During the contest of mayors, you're going to have to run your shops based off of what production assignments you get. You're not going to be able to run every single shop the way that we have written it out to make the most amount of coin. But let's say that you have a day off from the contest. Usually, most people, especially if they play the contest competitively, they take that day off and they prep. It's a con prep day. That's all you're doing on that day is prepping. So you're refilling any items that you know you're low on, like paint, planks, tape, nails, all that stuff. You're making coin. If that's, if you're low on coin, you're making coin. You're prepping all of your homes. You're going to say, okay, look, I have one regular residential. I'll have an epic project available on that in case I get an epic project task. I've got all my Omega canisters, making. They'll be done the moment that the contest starts. I've got, my coins squared away, all that stuff. Then you can say, okay, look, I just want to make this day about making money. So I'm going to run my shops based off of that. If you get an assignment and it gives you some downtime, let's say you get an assignment that gives you 5 to 10 hours downtime, maybe longer, right? That would be a good time to say, okay, I can run my shops with the highest profitable items for the next X amount of hours while I have downtime, right? And then that's how you're going to be able to work that in. Because if you strictly run your shops for the contest during the contest and you play the contest 5 to 6 days a week, and then you spend the last day of the week making stuff for the contest, you're never going to have enough money or enough time to make money. So you have to either set aside time throughout the contest and try to blend it in with your assignments, or you're going to have to take some tokens, stock up on raw materials, and then mass produce 1 or 2 shops worth of stuff. So a lot of times what I'll do is I will stockpile a bunch of textiles and seeds, right? I'll work on the contest and I'll be doing my contest of mayor stuff, and then I'll just run tokens on flour for, maybe 4 hours, you know what I mean? 4 hours worth of 12 times tokens. And I'll end up with a buttload of flour, and then I'm still proceeding to do my assignments. And then I take all that flour and I go on global and I buy the sugar, and then I just mass produce donuts. And I do, 3 or 4 hours worth of times 12 donuts. You know what I mean? And with this guide, we've made it really easy for you to know exactly how many of them that how many you're going to have completed, how much materials you're going to need, how often you're going to have to refill your shop. So a lot of people they'll put up donuts, they'll start their times 12 token, they'll get to playing their game, they come back, 11 donuts are sitting there, and their token's just running with 20, 30 minutes left on it, right? That is not a good plan, okay? We always get sidetracked. That's a horrible waste of a token. The best thing that you can do is to take the guide that we made and, utilize it, man. We spent time on it. Use it. Look at what you're doing and say, okay, I'm going to run a times 12 token on donuts, right? I want to know exactly how many are going to be done within the hour. If it says that there's going to be, 40 within the hour, then you can break that down and you can go, okay, if I can only make 11, right? Well, then I'm obviously going to have to refill my shop X amount of times, right? So you can look at that and you can either divide, do the math however you want to. Whether you want to do it like how much you're making, if you're making 40 donuts in, in 1 hour, I'm just throwing a number out there, okay? Or let's just say you're making 10 donuts in an hour, okay? That you're going to go, okay, cool, I'm making 10 donuts in 1 hour, and then you're going to divide it by all of the amount of, you're going to take the, shit, I hate talking about math when I don't have paper, you guys. Oh my God. Okay, You get my point, right? So we did the math for you is what I'm saying. So don't come back to a token that's just running out. There's no point in that. So this way, you know exactly how many you can make per token, which means that you can say, okay, I know I'm going to have to refill my shop X amount of times because I know that I can only put this many up at any one time, right? That is going to make it a lot easier for you to, whether it be set a timer on your phone or whatever. And then if you, let's say that you guys are, a lot of people will make nails, right? But if you are bored or you got some downtime or whatever, you guys can leave a couple of factories open, like maybe 5 or 6, and make metal every 1 minute. And then take a, like saying you have 11, slots unlocked, put 11 nails down, and then start a times 12 token. Now, let's find the building supplies store. Let's see, is that the building supplies? Yeah, okay. So, building supplies store. We need, okay, nails, I believe is the first one. Okay, first line. So for a level 3 shop, we make a nail every 4 minutes. Yep. Okay, cool. So as you can see, we're going to look at this, this chart here again. So we're going to go all the way to column with a 20% time discount. And that means that we make 15 nails in 1 hour on a 3-star shop. Okay, so why does it look like, hang on you guys, just a second. I can't read that, it's too small. Something ain't right here. Oh yeah, okay, that's why. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Okay, yes, so 15 nails in 1 hour on a negative or a minus 20%. So that's your build time, you're making it in 4 minutes. A 1-star is making it in 4.5. Okay, so yes, that's all correct. Now, we are going to the token part. So the token part, we're the top line. So nails is the very top line up there. Now, if we did a times 12 token on a 3-star shop, we make 180 nails on 1 times 12 token. If you take, what we sell it for, $80 a nail, yeah, times 180. So yeah, it's a nice chunk of change, you guys, and that's just with 1 hour. So you can easily run, if you have, especially if you have a decent amount of storage, especially, you can easily run flour, donuts, and nails on times 12 tokens at the same time. As long as you're sitting there and refilling your shop, you'll be able to run it fairly easily. Now the nails is going to be a little hard to keep up with at a times 12. I know, I've done it. And if you don't have, I would say at least 4 to 5 factories spitting out metal every 1 minute, it's going to be a little bit difficult. But it is a nice chunk of change, right? If you guys are experiencing, if you're having a hard time, trying to manage when to make stuff and when not to make stuff and whatnot, just remember that it is, you can always add more into the shop. You can't take more out, right? So for example, and this is kind of what goes on with the level 18 prep. If you add 1 item down and you end up doing an assignment, right? You can always use those arrows. When you click a shop, use the yellow arrows to cycle through the shops without having to collect anything so that you can put more down without having to collect anything. Now, like I said, it is going to be tricky juggling what items to make, when to make the money, and what goes on for the contest. But you should be able to, basically what you're going to do is anytime you see an opportunity to make money in one of your shops, do it. Okay. If you see some downtime, do it. If you know that, you got an epic project coming up and you are well stocked on all of your items, just spend X amount of days or hours or whatever making coin, right? More importantly, people need to understand what to sell and what to keep. That seems to be a big issue because you can make whatever you want, right? And you can make all the coin in the world, right? And at the end of the day, it doesn't do you any bit of good to have 8 million coins if you don't have the items that you need, right? So if you're well stocked on coins, it really doesn't do you any good if you're not well stocked on product. A lot of people make this huge mistake. They do an epic project, they finish their epic project, and they know they're going to be doing another one in a day or two because they're trying to get them done. And they take all of their items and they toss them out at the end of their epic because they're broke and they need money. So they're like, okay. And they throw everything up in their depot. All their good shit like paint, melons, even some people even sell their rares after an epic or even during an epic to finish their epic. That is not necessary. If you're in a position to where you got to do that, then you are not in a position to do an epic project. You need to go and watch all of my epic videos for one. That's a start. And then you need to figure out a whole different way to play the game. So a lot of people, what it's going to be, the toughest part for you guys is going to be breaking the habit and the cycle. Your routine, your bedtime, nighttime stuff that you're making every night, the stuff that you're putting up in your shops every day. You have to break that cycle, okay? You have to learn to teach yourself the right way, not the convenient way, not the way that you like to play the game, the way that is the most beneficial if you want the best outcome. Now, if you want to be broke and not have the items that you need and struggle on a constant basis like you are, then you can continue playing the way you are. But if you want to see a change, you got to make a change. I have given you guys all the same exact knowledge. Every single one of you that is watching this video has seen and heard every single thing that the next person has heard. No one has gotten any knowledge that you haven't received. And I see some of you, and you guys do excellent, and you rise above, and you do great. And then I see others that struggle and have a hard time, right? And I try to help those people. They come to me and they're like, Missy, I'm having a hard time. What do I do? And I'll either make a video on that topic, or I will try to help you specifically. If you are one of those people that is having a hard time understanding, I need to know, so that I can either help you individually or make a video for people that think the same way as you, right? So typically what'll happen is I'm looking for feedback, okay? When you guys watch my videos, and to be honest with you guys, I really wasn't anticipating taking it this far. When I first made the videos, it was because I had been running the group for about 5 years. And about 4.5 years or so. And over the course of that time, I have seen a lot of players come and go. And I've been asked the same questions every day for the last 4 years, like clockwork. And I've watched the same players make all the same mistakes. And I've given them all the same answers. And it was just this really repetitive thing. And it became to where, I knew what they were doing wrong. And it was like, okay, do I spend 3 hours typing out a paragraph explaining to them, what it is that they're doing wrong, or just ignore it, let it be, and just let them suffer, right? And then they became, pretty good members of my group or whatever. And then I would start to talk more and more to them. And it got to a point where I had pre-typed messages for people, because that is how many people make the same mistakes, okay? So don't feel bad. Now, everybody understands things differently. And the one thing that I've always tried to do with my videos, or even when I'm explaining anything in real life, I've always been somebody that gives a lot of detail and tries to make it understandable for everybody. I think of something and I think, okay, when I was having trouble with this, this is what I would have liked to known when I was having this issue. And what a lot of people do in their videos, and why their videos are so short, you know, like they're 10 minutes or whatever. If you compare my videos to their videos, they give a lot less information and they don't tell you why you're doing what you're doing. And most of what they're telling you is wrong anyways. So if I made a tips video and I say, okay, guys, you're going to make donuts and flour, and you're going to pick a launch VU task over anything else because I said so. That isn't going to give you, first off, you're not going to know why you're doing what you're doing, right? Which is really important. It's really important that you know why you're doing what you're doing. If you guys are just reiterating what someone else says, then what happens is if that someone is wrong, you have no way to explain why you're doing what you're doing. If you come to me and you say, you know, you guys should be making burgers for money, and there's a lot of people that say that, okay? And I'm like, no, that's not true. And it's like, yeah, it is. And like they're like dead serious. Like yeah, it is. It's the best way. And I'm like, no, it's not. And you start breaking it down mathematically, and they have no argument. They have no argument whatsoever because they don't know why they're doing what they're doing. They just heard some YouTuber say it. And they're like, okay, this dude told me it was the most beneficial. So that's what I've been repeating for my whole life, right? And we've all done it. And it's like that in life, no matter what you do. I mean, keto diet, for example, okay? How many times have you heard in your life, don't eat that, it's fattening? Fat does not make you fat, okay? And most people watching this are like, what the fuck is she talking about? Fat don't make you fat. No, it doesn't. Fat does not make you fat, okay? Look up the keto diet if you don't know. People eat fat all day long and lose weight. Yeah. Look it up, okay? Blood sugar, carbs, all that good shit, okay? That is what makes you fat. You can eat fattening ass food all day long and not gain weight. And there's millions of Americans that do it, okay? Now, you'll see people that say, you know what? My kid shouldn't have sugar. I don't want him to have his teeth fall out or whatever, right? But then they sit there and they give their kid milk before bed. That shit's full of sugar, right? Cereal. You tell a kid, you can't have a cookie. You're going to ruin your dessert. Or you're going to ruin your dinner with dessert, right? And it's like, okay. So then you look at what they're having for dinner, and it's full of sugar too. So what's the point, you know? Now, that's a rant for another day. But it's the same general concept. You hear something in your life, you think it's true, and you repeat it as if it is true without doing any investigation whatsoever as to if it actually is true. And that is like the burger thing. People see other people make it, they see it sell for a high amount, and then they think that it makes the most money, and it doesn't. You lose so much money by making burgers, it's not even funny. But the global market's full of them. Why is that? Well, because they sell for the most money, so they must turn the highest profit, right? No. Now, you guys, you all understand differently, and I try as hard as I can to explain things in a way where everybody can understand it. So if I'm getting a lot of the same question coming in on my videos or in my inbox, then I can go, okay, 10 people have asked me this. So maybe I should do a video and address this because this many people are asking me, right? Now, if it's just one person, then I could be like, okay, maybe this person's just having a little bit of trouble. But it really is incredible on how how our brain works and comprehends things. You can take somebody, for example, who doesn't understand math at all, but they do it every day and they don't realize that they're doing it every day. So if you were to tell somebody that, you want them to add, multiply, and divide, and they were to say that they aren't good at math, but then they sit there and they deal drugs all day, right? And so you're like, all right, let's reiterate this. I had a teacher in school say this to me. And he's like, all you got to do is change the words in the story problem to fit whatever it is you understand. And we had this kid in class that was like, you know what? I want to talk about selling dope. He was just being a punk. But the teacher was like, all right, let's do it then. So you get a bag of heroin and you have this many grams. And he starts breaking it down and changing the story problem. And surprisingly enough, I am not kidding you guys, 80% of the class fully understood what he was talking about just because of changing it to drugs. So how many drug dealers out there do math every day and sell? If they were doing the math the way they're playing their game, they would not be making money. I can tell you that. So it's obvious that a lot of you understand math. It's just you understand it in your own way, right? So if you're somebody who, I don't know, maybe you run a gas station for a living. If you ran your shop, and it's terrifying to think because, like I said, a lot of people that play this game, they don't know what the hell they're doing. If you guys run your bank like this, if you are looking at your paycheck like this, if you're running your stores the way you're running this game, I don't know how any of you have any money, right? So think in real life. Think about it as if it was real life. Would you sit there and spend 2 hours making a beef patty that sells for $860 or $880, whatever it is? I think it's $860. Or would you rather make a bag of flour that makes in 24 minutes and sells for $570? So why are you making beef, right? Think about it as if it was real life. Try to manage it. Do the best that you can. You know what I mean? Like, if you guys are you guys are going to need items that you need. Don't sell things you need. You know that they're hard to get. Why are you selling the things you need? Look at it like real life. Okay, face masks are in high demand right now, right? So let's say that you're going to need 20 face masks in 2 days for your epic project, right? So what do? You take your face masks that really aren't even worth that much money and you sell them off when you know you're going to need them in 2 days and you know that the demand is so high that you're not going to be able to find them. Why are you doing that? And just think logically. Go, okay, I should probably save these because I know they're hard to get. I know that if I have to make them when I already have them, I could have made something else with that time. So either I keep these and make stuff that turns a higher profit or things that I need that I don't have, or I can sell this and then end up having to make it again anyways. Not smart. So honestly, a lot of it is just thinking outside the box and then just thinking in general. Just put a little bit of thought into whatever it is that you're doing. Even if it's just opening up the menu, just putting just that little bit of thought to actually read the menu and what's being put in front of you, right? If you guys have any questions at all, feedback, anything whatsoever, put it in the comments. I will do the best that I can to get back to you. I only have 500 subscribers right now, but it's a lot when you've got people blowing your inbox up every day. And I have, like I said, I have so many other things that I run, a crime page and all that other stuff. So I'm doing the best that I can to get back to all of you. I apologize, but the best way right now is to not go to Discord. We're not using that anymore. Go to the Facebook group. Okay. All right.